Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got Hut 8 providing their September mining operations report. So we're going to look into that really quick here. And I updated the report that I did with Hive as well as for Hut to go quarter by quarter, which I think is going to be more accurate going forward. So let's take a look at it here. So here's Hut's report. They have mined 264 Bitcoin were mined. 100% of those are being self-mined and being held in their HODL strategy. Total Bitcoin balance held in reserve is 4,724, which I believe is around 220 million roughly in USD. They received and installed 600 other servers consisting of 2,400 NVIDIA GPUs basically. They're totaling, let me see, what was it? 7.10 Ethereum per day, equivalent to half a Bitcoin a day, totaling 25,000 Canadian in income per day. On those, 25% of their total server fleet is deployed and earning, so 25%. So if they only have 600 installed, that means they still have another 1,800 to go. On those, today, Hut has earned 265,000 from the CMP deployment, so the GPU deployment. Let me see here. We are excuse me. We are thrilled with our current amount of Bitcoin held in reserves, as well as being ahead of schedule on our commitment to the market to have over 5,000 self-mined Bitcoin by end of Q4, said Jamie Leverton, CEO of Hut 8 Mining. Let's see, and then a little bit update here. Our current capacity of deployed GPU miners will continue to earn 25,000 Canadian per day, ramping up to the full capacity earnings over this period, which is expected to be at 110,000 Canadian per day based upon current mining economics, said Jason Zaluski, Chief Technology Officer at Hut 8 Mining. Hut 8's full CMP deployment has been hampered by supply chain constraints and manufacturing shortages many industries are experiencing globally, said Jason Zaluski, Chief Technology Officer at Hut 8. We are continuing to work on our technology partners, and we anticipate this issue to be resolved early in Q4. I wouldn't anticipate that being resolved anytime soon. There's just too many doggone shipping delays and bottlenecks in the system right now as it is. I'd say maybe 2023 we may have this resolved, but until then, I'm not counting on it. So let's see here. So they're going to be a little bit backed up on miners when they're coming in too, possibly. So let's take a look at my comparison here, my analysis of this. So I updated this to be the same as for Hive. So took all the numbers, put them into quarters, looked at the quarter results, and tried to match them up as best I could for the quarters. So prices are all in Canadian unless otherwise noted. So we're using Bitcoin price here on March 1st, which is their Q1, which ended at 58,730, which is 73,000 Canadian roughly, using the exchange rate of 1.257 right now. And then Q2 was 33,543 for Bitcoin, so their Canadian price was 42,163. They reported that they made around 32.5 million gross. So based on those numbers, we were able to figure this out. They also provided that they had hosting revenue of 1.4 million, so that's in here as well. And then I just updated the numbers here as far as mining months, how many mining months they were mining. So for it all to work out, these looks like were only partially installed in the period in the Q1. If we look at Q2, they were installed. They reported they made 33.5 million, so we saw a lot more of those miners being installed. The only ones that were left were the 11,000 roughly of the last batch to be installed by the end of the year. And we had those at 0.1, kind of make the numbers work. Everything else was installed and mining fine. So we still had, where are we? Q2, which we're here. So all the miners here were basically running 3 months, and then these were only at fractional amounts to get us to the 33.5 million Canadian. And they were also reported that they had 2.2 million from hosting. So now going into Q3, which is July through September, Bitcoin price ended September at 48,164. That gave us a total of, if all the miners are still running, right, they're saying that they're going to be at 2.5 exahash by the end of the year. So everything pretty much has to be running here, and then increase in these has increased as well. And what else do we have here? Oh, they also added the GPU miners here. They're reporting those are making around 25,000 per day, and they made roughly 265,000 from those. So we added that in there, and then I gave them another 400,000 on top of their hosting services. So I'm calculating 2.6 million. It could be 3 million. I'm not sure on that one. But I'm coming up with the current Bitcoin price at 48,000 Canadian, 60,000 obviously. That gives them a possible gross income of 69 million, which would give them an EPS of 42 based on the amount of shares that are held outstanding, which are 164 million as of today. And what else? So USD would be 33 cents or 54 million, which would be a pretty much 100% increase in revenue just over a quarter, which would be huge if this does happen. The only thing is, I don't know if these miners here, these are the old cube-tainers that they were talking about, or cube boxes. These are the old miners. I don't know if any of those are being turned off or not. So obviously we'll have to see in their results for Q3 if that happened, then obviously we'll have to adjust it going forward into Q4. So on Q4, we're using the price of 50,000 for Bitcoin, which is roughly where Bitcoin is today. That would be 62,850 for Canadian Bitcoin price. And then we're saying everything is pretty much installed by the end of the year, running at basically 3 months. This might be only at 2 months because there's just so many of those things that need to be installed of these miners, the latest ones. So we'll use the 2 months here. So we're looking at possibly, if Bitcoin just holds price at 50,000, we're looking at possibly around 78 million Canadian dollars. I increased their, oh doggone, what is that? That is their hosting revenue to 400,000 to 3 million, and then also doubled their GPU miners income to 1.5 million, basically from the, well, that's more than doubling it, isn't it? 275. Well, they only had those in for a couple of days, so that's why. And the low price, but those are in, and you get another 600 installed. You're looking at possibly this price at the current Ethereum price and difficulty. So if we get at 78 million here, we're looking at an EPS of 48, and then obviously USD would be 38 and 62 million roughly. Okay, so these are all Canadian unless otherwise noted in USD. So if we look at the numbers here for the quarter, so quarter ending right now, Bitcoin price is at 62,850 Canadian dollars. Current quarter earnings would be 78, do I have that correct? Yep, 78 million. Last 3 quarters would add up to 135 million. So Q1, Q2, Q3 combined total would be at 213 million roughly. As always, I take 50% discount from the gross to bring it down to what the possible net would be. So that would be a net income of 106 million. So we're looking at an EPS of 65, stock price of $13 if Bitcoin just stayed where it's at right now. If we went 75% of gross, we would be at 160 million and EPS of 98. And price to earnings multiple 20, stock should be at 1951 Canadian dollars. Now, in the last quarter, Q4, if Bitcoin goes up 2x, 3x, 4x, stock price should be around 17.78, 22.54, 27.31. And then if you go not as conservative and you use a 75% net margin, you're looking at 26, 33, and 40.97 in Canadian dollars. In the US dollars, it'd be 10.35, 14.14, 7.94, 21.73, and then 75%, 15.52, 21.21, 26.90, and 32.59. Obviously, as always, this is just my own research. This is nowhere near perfect. Do your own research as always. Make sure you only invest in things that you're comfortable investing in, that you've done your research. Do not follow my research here. I mean, you can use it to kind of gauge things, but I am not a professional research person. So if everything goes well and Bitcoin stays where it's at, I think this is a real good opportunity. Right now the price is at 961. So if it goes up to, so it's pretty close to, well, they're using 29. So if you go up 30 multiple roughly on 52, should be closer to probably $15 here. If you're using PE 30 instead of PE 20 like I'm using here. So there's still obviously room to go, but otherwise it's getting close to being pretty well valued, I think. And then obviously if Bitcoin goes up, you'd have a lot more upside. You're going up about 100% from here. You could go up even higher. Obviously, if you go use the 30% or 30 PE, you're looking at $30 possibly as the high. But this is just kind of where I'm looking at of the conservative viewpoint on this. All right, guys, a lot of information here, a lot of data, a lot of stuff to digest as far as Canadian dollar to US dollars. Like I said, I had a heck of a time yesterday trying to get this stuff done, figured out, and working. Let me know what you think of the data. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? I think this is a lot more accurate than my previous data that I was using. So looking for comments. Let me know how I can improve on this stuff. I know that they also HODL a lot. I'll probably include some kind of HODL information in these reports as well. I'm trying to figure out how that's going to affect the price of their stocks. And that's it. Otherwise, we'll also do a HODL report on these companies when all of them have reported for September. And we'll go from there. Have a great day, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.